Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we take a moment to reflect upon the anniversary of the September 11th attacks, and we honor the 8 members of the East Brunswick community that were lost. Then we cut the ribbon at Results Boxing and Fitness, located at the Brunswick Square Mall, as Mayor Cohn talks with the owner in a brand new business spotlight. We visit Playhouse 22 before opening night of their production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and talk with the director about the production. All this, plus Al Nygren, the executive director and curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, sits down in studio with the director of the documentary film Two Trentons in a Filmmaker interview. So stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now. On the 18th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, East Brunswick held a moment of remembrance to honor all the victims, especially the 8 East Brunswick residents that were lost.
Before we get started, I would like everybody to pay attention to and give appreciation for, if there's anything we've learned after 9/11, for all of the first responders who are here today. Those who represent public safety, the fire department, ambulance squad, people who are risking their lives to this day in the military defending this country. I think they all deserve our gratitude. And I thank them all for being here today.
Inscribed on this monument, our monument, are the names of the following: Siu Nie Ang, Susan Blair, Paul W. Ianella, Huidor Jian,
Alan David Kleinberg, Stuart Lewis, Suzanne Pizarro, Kenneth W. Van Auken.
Just have a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. But what I wanted to do with this is to make it a little bit more intimate. That's why I wanted to have everybody come a little bit closer, see the monument, and I want to talk, have a discussion, having a dialogue. The first thing I'd like to talk about is people's recollections of 9/11.
For those who don't know me, my name is Bill Neary. I was the mayor during 9/11 in East Brunswick. There is about 1 million stories to tell, and I'm sure everybody here has some to tell. I just want to quickly, as fast as possible, tell you about a couple of these people who are on this monument. Alan Kleinberg was the chairman of the skate park committee for East Brunswick. He had volunteered his time to put together the plans with a very active committee to build a skate park in town. At Monday night's council meeting on September 10th, he gave us a report on how the committee had made progress and what their plans were. They never found any of him on September 11th. Kenneth Van Auken, when we went to visit his wife after this tragedy, her tears were more centered around a cabinet that he had built the week before, or the month before, that he had built with his own hands, that he was so proud of, that he was so happy to give to his family so the books could be held in such a nice way. These are people who lived in East Brunswick, who worked in East Brunswick. Their wives, Mindy Kleinberg and Lori Van Auken, did not take this tragedy sitting down. They're 2 of the 4 Jersey girls who created the 9/11 Commission. They did us proud in memory of their families. But I'll briefly wrap up by everything else by looking to the future. On September 12th, 2001, we had a candlelight vigil right over here. And for those who were here, there were thousands of people. The clergy council got together. We had speakers, we had songs to talk about how important it is as a community and as a world to live in peace despite this tragedy and despite this war. It was a very memorable experience for me, probably the most memorable experience I had in my 12 years as mayor. But I want to tell you, East Brunswick stood proud, stood for peace, and this monument, which was dedicated exactly 1 year later, is a tribute to these fine men and women who went to work one day and didn't come home, but at the same time, they stood good for the town stood good in the world, and we're still proud to be part of East Brunswick. And briefly, I want to just wrap it up by saying our public safety people, our fire departments, our rescue squads, our Office of Emergency Management all worked tirelessly that day to communicate because we didn't know how many children were going to be coming home from school to an empty house. It was a difficult day in East Brunswick, but I think we've proven 19 years, 18 years later, that we're a resilient community, we're a tolerant community, and we all respect these people for what they've given our lives, but in the future, we've all got to work together to maintain that peace and love. Thank you.
I'll tell you, September 11th is probably one of the most tragic days we'll ever have in our lifetime. But seeing September 12th, how everybody came together, it didn't make a difference what political party you were from, what religion you were from, what your background was. We all came together. And if we could just take September 12th and bottle that, and we all could learn to live together in harmony, it would be a great place.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Chief.
My name is Frank Lasacco. I'm the chief of police here in East Brunswick. And what I took from that is to see after September 11th how our law enforcement community with the fire department, EMS, and Office of Emergency Management came together. And since that day, all of the dedicated men and women that work in these services have dedicated themselves professionally and personally to further improve our quality of life here and to protect you. So how we've changed drastically in our response and our preparedness through the Office of Emergency Management and the fire department service as well as the police service.
And like was mentioned earlier, I don't think that we should ever take that safety and our security for granted, ever. Just think about it for a second, that 18 years, kids that were born in 2001 are now first going into college. They vote, they go into college. They have never, ever known a world where you don't have to go through security to get onto a plane. They have never known a world where there's not security getting into their schools. And most of these kids live in a post 9/11 world that they just don't understand what it was like to take for granted the fact that we have one of the best security systems in the world, and that we go to work every day, we go to travel, wherever we go, we now think about things that never had to really worry about before. And these kids never knew a world before that. And finally, they have never been a United States citizen when the country was at peace. Ever. That's sad. And I think that if I could have any wish for the future, anything that we could get out of this tragedy, is that we learn to live amongst one another in peace, to respect each other no matter what background, and to work towards creating a better world, that we no longer have to worry about being at war, that we could live in peace and in security, and maybe turn the clock back a little bit to the simpler times when we no longer had to worry about those things. But with that having been said, we are very lucky living here in East Brunswick. We do often take for granted the security that is earned on the backs of many people who work tirelessly to make sure that that happens. So thank each and every one of you for coming out here this evening. Have a blessed evening. We are here today for the opening of Results Boxing and Fitness in the Brunswick Square Mall, just outside of JCPenney's. We are exceedingly happy. It's another store. Kudos to the mall for bringing another great opportunity to the residents of East Brunswick and the surrounding communities. And so I was asking and hoping that you might be able to talk a little bit about the program you have here, what you provide, location, hours, type of people that you're looking to have come here, and services that you provide.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here today, Mayor. Results Boxing and Fitness. We have a 50-minute high-intensity workout where it's boxing inspired but nightclub themed. So it's a lot of fun. We do children and we do adults. A lot of people come here to get in shape. They come here for strength. They come here for confidence. We're open 7 days. We teach classes 7 days. We do kids 4 to 7, 8 to 11 children, and then we also do 12 and above as adults. Our classes start at 5:45 in the morning, and then we have classes all the way till 9 p.m. at night. We have a live DJ booth here, which is really cool. I used to DJ, but now I teach, and we have a DJ come in. So there might be some rare occasions where I might get back there and spin it up a little bit, but for the most part, it's mostly the teaching. This is Nazneen. She works with us here at the club. She helps to promote our children's programs, and she also works customer service and sales.
I've had a great experience working with John for quite a while now, and I look forward to helping in the future and bringing in a lot of kids.
We're also really thrilled for the resurgence, in essence, of the Brunswick Square Mall. We've seen over the last couple of years a whole lot of new stores coming in, and that's a tribute to, I believe, the new management here at the mall and your philosophy on what it is that gets people out of the house and back to retail. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about not only place here today at Fitness, but the role in terms of what you're looking to accomplish here, because you've gotten off to a great start, and we're thrilled as heck for a town to see one of our largest retail establishments back in business again.
Right. Absolutely. Well, here at Brunswick Square Mall, we are so excited to have Results Boxing and Fitness here as a new concept aside from retail. So, for us, we're looking to bring more people into the mall, and what better way than to bring something trendy and like boxing. So, it's different than just being in the mall to go shopping, but rather than to actually do your shopping, do your workouts, get something to eat, and do it all in one. So we're very excited to make it an experiential destination.
And I think that's really the word that we need to make sure people understand is we're moving more towards an experiential type of shopping where people come out and they do something and have to get out of the house. Can't do this necessarily at home. This is an experience, and then when you're done, you could enjoy some of the other opportunities to use some of the establishments here in the mall. So I think it's a brilliant idea to bring this to this type of location. And on behalf of the township, we wish you the most success and anything that we could do on behalf of the township, our Chamber of Commerce, our Economic Development Office. We're here to help make sure that businesses have a strong foothold here in East Brunswick and do well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. All right.
So with that, I think we need to do the honors, right?
All right, here we go. Welcome, everyone, to New Jersey's hottest boxing experience.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
So much. We'll see you here for the best boxing experience ever.
So Results Boxing and Fitness is officially open.
Yeah! All right, awesome.
Hiya, buddies. Mighty nice fall morning. Damn, what a sorry-looking bunch.
Now see here, Mr.
Get away from me, boy. Give me a minute to look over my new home, will you? What
Well,
the hell?
One
I
Flew Over
never
the
been
Cuckoo's
in
Nest. A lot of people know it from the movie with
Institute of
Jack Nicholson.
Psychology.
But the live production is so much better because you almost get to be a part of this sanitarium within the whole group therapy meetings. They're interesting characters to see live. McMurphy, Nurse Ratched, all the patients. And it is something that basically has a message of the big nurse is a lot like Big Brother, where basically she's trying to create order from chaos. And the result of that is getting rid of the individuality of each of these patients. We got a stellar cast in this, an incredible set, sound, lights, and it's an amazing thing to see when all of this comes together.
Now, we're not going to make any decisions, you understand. I just don't think he should be able to go around upsetting other patients as he does.
I ain't upset. No, me neither.
Well, you may not realize you are. However, you are definitely being affected by Mr. McMurphy. He has been taking his positions of... Oh, here he comes now.
Right, Doc? What do you think?
I think it's a charming notion.
Doctor.
Doctor,
Doctor, we have a meeting in progress.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, we were just discussing the matter of morale.
Great, that's exactly what we were talking about. And I
The
suggested...
plot of the story of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is based on the Ken Kesey novel, is about this one mental health patient named Randall P. McMurphy, who comes in and has a struggle with the big nurse, Nurse Ratched. The two of them go head to head, and it's really about him not backing down to her. It's an incredible story that includes him attempting to help the other patients in this ward. Both Nurse Ratched and Randall McMurphy have the best intentions, but as it turns out, it's really McMurphy that wants to see them really fly, really become individuals. The show dates are, it opens Friday, September 13th, up to September 29th. There's one middle Sunday, actually, that we do not have a matinee that day, but we have two shows on that Saturday at 3 p.m. and at 8 p.m. And that's when they are, Friday night and Saturday night at 8, and then Sunday at 3 p.m. In order to get tickets, you can easily go online to www.playhouse22.org, or you can call our box office. We have an incredible amount of talent up on this stage and off stage as well. Our set, our lights, our sound is amazing. It's very professional, and the people up there are doing a great job.
So go, my children, and sin as thee may, for tomorrow we shall all be tranquilized.
Hello everyone, it's Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, back with our second interview for the fall 2019 season. We have a wonderful filmmaker here who I'll introduce to you in a second. The New Jersey Film Festival will be taking place between September 13th and October 13th on select Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings between those dates starting at 7 p.m. in our wonderful space Voorhees Hall, which is located adjacent to the Zimmerli Art Museum on the Rutgers University campus in New Brunswick, New Jersey at 71 Hamilton Street. Programs take place at 7 p.m. on those show dates, and you can check out the lineup at our website, which is njfilmfest.com. Today, we have the director of the wonderful documentary entitled Two Trentons. His name is Brad Mays. He's actually an alumnus of our film festival. We screened one of his other documentaries at our festival, but this one is about a very interesting city, the capital city of New Jersey, and I was able to finally get to watch this film all the way through. prior to our interview, and I was fascinated with how you broke down the film into basically what I think is 3 parts. Even though there's 2 Trentons, there seems to be 3 parts to the film. The first one focuses on the artistic side of the artistic resurgence of the festival.
Mm-hmm.
The second more has to do with the interaction with the religious community. And the third, kind of history of the city itself. Am I way off?
No, you're not way off at all. It's interesting that you should say that because at heart, I'm an Aristotelian, beginning, middle, and end. You know, so 3 acts, and I'm trained in the theater and also in dramatic films. So 3-act play, you know. We were talking about Stanley Kubrick a little earlier, and he doesn't do 3 acts.
No, he doesn't.
But I do, and yeah. It's true. The very beginning does focus pretty much on the art scene and music scenes. In the second act, we go into history. We get into more of the theme of the city as a city, you know, rather than trying to focus on what its aspirations are. We focus on what the history is, and you know, and problems galore.
Yeah.
In the third act, it's a little dicier. I think that we come back to the arts a bit,
That's true.
but then we have the art all night shooting, which happens, and there's a lot of discussion about that.
And you got some amazing footage of that too.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
Well, a lot of sources, and in fact, I was asked by our Artworks to cut back on that stuff. So I had about 3 times more of that footage in there. But we were watching it, the producer, Joe Houlihan, and me, and a couple of other people. We were watching it, and they really said, man, this is a downer. This really is a downer. And I was even encouraged to take all of that footage out. I refused to do that.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, it's a nodal point because, we should tell people what the Art All Night event is, because I'm sure many people around here don't know what that is. Do you want to tell them?
Well, Artworks is, as Jeff Stewart so eloquently put it in the film, it's the go-to center in Trenton for the arts. There were other places as well, but Artworks Trenton originated in Princeton and then came...
And they're half a century old, right?
Yeah, pretty much, I think. Yeah, maybe not quite that old, but so, and they're very responsive to the community. I mean, they encourage lessons and education. You know, filmmakers have film screened there, and what happens though is that Artworks and a couple of other people are also behind the Art All Night event, which is 24-hour art orgy. You know, in the Roebling.
And so
Center.
they have gallery lined up.
It's insane. It's incredible.
So
it's
theater, music, film, everything.
And tons of paintings and sculpture.
Right.
Then unfortunately last year, there was a shooting. You know, it was gang related. You know, it didn't have anything to do with art or anything at all, but it happened.
Right.
And it was also my final day of shooting.
Wow.
According to our then schedule. I called up Joe, the producer, and I said, well, I think our film just took a change.
Yeah.
And so we continued working on it.
Right, because that's one of the things that you point out in the documentary, the stigma of Trenton, where, you know, God, we can't go there, it's a dangerous place. I mean, people talk about New Brunswick that way. When I first came to New Jersey in the early 80s, oh, you can't go to New Brunswick because it's a dangerous place, you get mugged. But of course, that's not the reality. And I think that's the same with Trenton.
There is that, but you know, there's a wonderful line. The guy that runs the Trenton Coffee House, he says, he talks about his family. You know, he's a real long-haired guy,
I remember.
East European. His wife is Islamic,
Right,
you know.
Muslim.
And he says, you know, we could live in a white suburban neighborhood, but you can't be people like us and live there.
Right.
It just
They
doesn't
feel
work.
comfortable there.
He said, but there is safety in Trenton. There is safety in diversity. I thought that was a really inspired moment that I had.
And that's one of the things that I loved about your film is the fact that it does encourage, you know, people to look at this, at people as people.
Right.
And that through the arts, and Jeff Stewart said this as well, that through the arts you build the society and the community.
Precisely, yeah. You take a city that's really on its last legs, and artists have a tendency to move into these areas because it's cheap and they can rent studio space, and little by little it elevates the whole culture, until there is a culture, and then of course,
and then it's co-opted by the corporations.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm hoping that doesn't happen to Trenton.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. So folks, you have to absolutely see this film, which is premiering at our festival, that's correct, on Sunday, September 15th at 7 p.m. in Voorhees Hall 105. At 7 p.m. there are 2 short films that have music-related themes. My job as the curator is to try to find a home for some of these short films with the features.
Which is a wonderful thing.
And I thought the first film, which is also by a Jersey filmmaker, his name is Tom Levy, it's called On Vinyl, Revival and Survival, about the vinyl revival. And it's he's going to be there to do a Q&A along with you. And then Daniel Ferrer's film is a short fiction film called Ex-Disposer, about a drummer trying to get back in his band. So
drummers are great.
This is an amazing drummer.
They're wild men.
He is a wild man here. So that definitely is going to fit nicely with the screening of your film. And Brad is going to be there to do a Q&A.
Yes, I am.
And
Barbara Curtis, who is a graphic artist and who helped with editing, she'll be there.
I had one last question, since I think we have a few more seconds, that there is one line where one of the performers talks about wanting to keep Trenton hidden. Is that something that, do you think this film will help keep it hidden, or?
No, I think that what he was saying, and I don't ever try to interpret, they speak for themselves, right? But I think what he was getting at was that Trenton is kind of its own little autonomous place, and it's a little petri dish, and stuff is bubbling up to the surface and everything, things are beginning to happen. And it hasn't really gone prime time yet. It's still kind of hidden. And I think he said that he likes the fact that it is hidden at this point. But there will come a time
where it will no longer
exactly.
be hidden. Right. Well, thanks so much, Brad. It was wonderful chatting with you. And folks, again, Sunday, September 15th at 7 p.m., Voorhees Hall. Come and check out this wonderful film. More information at njfilmfest.com. And have a great day. Thanks again.
Thanks you.
There are 2 sides to Trenton. You have the daytime Trenton and you have the nighttime Trenton. Most of the people who visit the city of Trenton only visit during the daytime. And you can see some pretty interesting things during the daytime. But that is absolutely nothing compared to the nightlife in Trenton.